Veterans Day hits a little bit different for me because depends on where you live. If you're in different parts of the world, it means different things. In America, and being black with Veterans Day hits different because I have family members that dealt with the Spanish War, Civil War, World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, and the difference is that depending on where you were, it meant different things. With most of my family members, it meant freedom to come back to a country where you could actually get your freedom. But that was the promise, but it wasn't the truth. Systematic racism, systematic institutionalized racism still has haunted. And a lot of them will come back homeless or didn't have a place to stay and didn't have a country. Just got used and abused and had to go in the military in separate barracks and barracks. It was a reality. My grandfather had to go through that in World War II, and the relatives had to deal with that in Vietnam, and of course, World War One. There always this promise for black soldiers to come back to be free. They can honor you, but the treatment was completely different. So when Veterans Day comes about, there's a two sides. It's like how there's two worlds in one. Well, there's two sides in military life because of the white side, black side. There's the general side where everybody comes together with their uniform and the acknowledgement, so on and so forth. There's the black side where there's the dark side, and your promises, but you're stuck with systematic institutionalized racism and you get treated like half a citizen, how the whole nine goes. It's a very jarring situation. It's one of those situations that psychologically has never been properly dealt with. People have kind of whitewashed and glossed over, like they do with systematic racism, that they do in general anyway. So add up being a military veteran, being added up that people had to go and battle against people who didn't do anything to them, but they're being allowed to do that, and then they come back to a country that has already spited on them, and maybe that uniform might make you a couple inroads. It might make you worthy to get a pat on your head and a cup of coffee, but does it really make a difference? But it's the psychological dynamics of it. So when I talk about Veterans Day, I talk about it in black and white because it has different connotations. Growing up, my grandfather's flag was like a big thing because he was in the Navy and he was one of my heroes growing up. However, I also understood, I learned about the cold reality because he was doing that civil rights, pre-civil rights, before Thurgood Marshall, before the March on Selma, for Dr. King, Malcolm, Black Panthers, etc., etc. So his world was not inviting.